Because panic attacks and heart attacks overlap with many of their symptoms, I don't want to be responsible for anybody not getting care when in fact they do need it. But with that being said, if you are in relatively good health, have been tested by your doctor, and have a history of panic attacks, this change in perspective may be able to help you. Because I'm not afraid of panic attacks anymore. When you have a panic attack, it feels like you're dying from many different things all at the same time. It's crushing. So what I'm about to tell you is probably gonna scare you more than it's gonna help you at first. You are not gonna like it, you are not gonna believe me, and you certainly won't wanna try it. I think it's important to keep in mind with this perspective what a panic attack actually is. It's a chemical release. It's a physical warning. And in today's modern society, it's a warning that doesn't match the circumstance. This is a life or death warning when you're just trying to eat your Chipotle. It doesn't match. There's a lot of different techniques out there for how to stop panic attacks. And I could be wrong, but for me, to not be afraid of panic attacks, you have to give in to be free. You have to let them wash over you. You have to give in to be free. I know, that sounds scary. And it is at first. But then everything changes. Back in high school, I would get panic attacks all the time, and they would go on from hours to days. And it was really crushing and scary and intimidating because it felt like I would just have to live the rest of my life with panic disrupted only by sleep, if I'm lucky. And this went on for years. But then I learned that in the brain and body, there's only so many chemicals that you produce. And the chemicals that get released when you're nervous or full of anxiety or starting to panic, these are the same chemicals that get released when you're excited. It's just your frame of the situation that changes how you feel about it. Fear and excitement are the same chemical release. It's only in how we name it do we feel differently about it. So the technique is to try and replace this scary feeling with a good memory. You try and replace this nervousness with something that gets you excited. Do you get excited to play trivia games with friends, or go on roller coasters, or go see your favorite band at a rock concert? This feeling of excitement can set you free. And look, I didn't believe this at first, okay? When I first found out about this, I was like, let the panic attack wash over me? Yeah, go f yourself, sir. That's terrifying. But then I'm sitting on an airplane and we're taxiing, about to take off, and I feel this panic start to rise in my chest. I start to feel a panic attack happen because flying. But this time, as I'm sitting in my seat, I remember this advice: reframe the nervousness into excitement. So as I'm sitting there, I close my eyes and I imagine myself performing on stage. This is something that excites me. This is something that fulfills me. And I didn't think anything would happen, anything would change. But as I'm sitting there, imagining me performing, I felt the shift. Holy shit! This is the exact same feeling. This is the same exact feeling in my body. This doesn't have to be a totally terrifying experience. This can be something great, or at least different. It felt familiar. And that's a weird thing to have happen with a panic attack when you change your frame of reference. This is powerful. So I started practicing. Whenever I felt that familiar pulling feeling in my chest and my heart start to race and my breath start to go shallow, I would close my eyes and imagine myself doing something that I loved, something that made me excited. And this perception shift changes the fear to joy, or at least neutralizes it in a completely different way. I've done this for many years now, and nowadays panic attacks are so familiar that I don't run from them anymore. I know what they are. Now I let them just flow through me like an excited river, just rapids crashing through the stones, full of life. Hopefully without the drowning. But because of that, because I let them flow, they move through me quickly, if they even happen at all. Because there's no more fear, there's no more anticipation, there's no more rejection of this bodily warning system. I accept it. I recognize that my body is warning me. And in contemporary times, there's nothing to be worried about. There's not a tiger in my room or a snake in my boots. But something in my brain, in my body, in my soul is saying, hey, Corey, we're alerting you to something right now. So I acknowledge it. I get out of bed and I yell, or I do jumping jacks. This physicality helps to acknowledge the primal function that's happening within your brain at that time. Danger. Corey, danger. Corey, danger. Respond to the danger or I'll get louder. And that's a panic attack. I know, this is scary. These chemicals can really suck. I may not be afraid of panic attacks anymore, but I still get anxiety. And when I do, I feel like I just have this black energy flowing out of my heart center, like a sad Care Bear. Oh! So you have to find a way to let this flow through you. With that, I think it's important to remember that anxiety isn't something to rid yourself of. It's not something to finish off. It's not something to end. It's a part of what makes you human and strong and resilient. And it helped generations before you survive and get to you. One of my favorite authors, Rannar Maria Rilke, said, anxiety, fear, sadness, doubt, there is no human emotion that cannot be upended and put into service. So next time a panic attack is coming down the pipes, just give it a shot. Try and change your frame of mind. Give in. Give in to be free. Because remember, this is just a warning. You're not really dying. You could just be excited. And that's really being alive.